Southern ground hornbill facts. Lifespan, habitat, and diet. The southern ground hornbill is Africa's largest hornbill, a large terrestrial, carnivorous bird from southern eastern Africa's savannas, known for its red throat, hunting small animals, insects, reptiles, mammals, on the ground using its powerful beak and living in cooperative family groups. They are currently vulnerable due to habitat loss, requiring grasslands with large trees for roosting and nesting. Origin and habitat. Origin, native to the African continent, primarily south of the equator. Range, found in savannas, woodlands, and grasslands from Kenya down to South Africa, needing large trees for roosting and nesting. Diet and hunting diet. Carnivorous generalists, eating anything small enough to overpower. Food items, insects, amphibians, frogs, toads, reptiles, lizards, snakes, tortoises, small mammals, rats, hares, squirrels, and sometimes fruit seeds. Hunting. They walk in groups, using their long, curved beak to catch prey, often tossing it in the air to swallow. Key characteristics. Size: largest hornbill species. Appearance: black with white flight feathers and distinctive red skin on the face and throat. Males pure red, females violet blue. Social structure: live in family groups, 2 to 10 birds, with cooperative breeding, where non-breeding members help raise the single chick. Conservation: classified as vulnerable, endangered in some areas, mainly due to human-induced habitat loss. The southern ground hornbill, Bucorvus leadbeateri, is a threatened species, classified as vulnerable globally by the IUCN, but locally endangered in South Africa and other southern African nations like Namibia and Eswatini, facing significant population declines due to habitat loss, persecution, poisoning, and electrocution. Despite some successful conservation efforts. Key details: global status, vulnerable; national status, South Africa; endangered, with numbers drastically reduced across their historical range. Threats: habitat loss, agriculture, deforestation, electrocution, power lines, persecution, secondary poisoning, lead pesticides, and loss of nesting trees are major factors. Slow reproduction. Their long lives and slow breeding make them very vulnerable to threats. Conservation. Projects like the Mabula Ground Hornbill Project work to raise extra chicks for release and manage threats, showing signs of success in some areas. Why they are endangered: habitat loss. Conversion of land for farming and plantations destroys their large territorial needs. Human conflict. They are sometimes killed due to traditional beliefs or territorial conflicts, e.g., breaking windows. Infrastructure. Power lines and transformer boxes pose electrocution risks, and collisions with roads and windows are also threats. Southern ground hornbill can fly, though it is primarily a terrestrial bird that spends roughly 70% of its day on the ground. Flight capability: speed. They can reach flight speeds of up to 18 miles per hour. Wingspan. They possess an impressive wingspan reaching approximately 4 to 6 feet, 1.2 to 1.8 meters. Style. Their flight is described as strong and heavy with deep wing beats, yet surprisingly graceful for their large size. Flight distance and behavior. Southern ground hornbills do not fly long distances and are non-migratory. Their flight is typically purposeful and short range. Typical distances. It is common for them to fly distances of around 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles. Extended pursuits. They may fly up to 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles when chasing territorial intruders. Altitude. They generally stay within 30 meters, 98 feet of the ground, but can rise to over 300 meters, 984 feet, during aerial territorial disputes. Primary reasons for flight: roosting in trees at night to avoid predators, delivering food to the nest, crossing obstacles like rivers or dense bush, defending vast territories, up to 100 to 250 square kilometers, from rival groups. The southern ground hornbill typically lives for 40 to 50 years in the wild and up to 70 years in captivity. The oldest recorded individual lived to be over 60 years old in the wild, and the maximum recorded lifespan in a captive setting is 70 years. Southern ground hornbills are known for their long lives, which is comparable to other long-lived birds like the wandering albatross. Their slow reproductive rate, only raising one chick every few years, is linked to this long lifespan. Humans must reduce threats like habitat loss and poisoning through community engagement, habitat restoration, artificial nests, raising awareness, removing lead ammo, modifying power poles, and supporting conservation projects that reintroduce hand-reared chicks and educate landowners, focusing on both direct interventions and cultural understanding to secure their future as flagship species. Direct conservation actions, habitat and nesting. Install artificial nest boxes as natural tree cavities decline and work to restore large, old trees. Reduce poisoning. Advocate for and implement alternatives to lead ammunition, a major source of lead poisoning, and educate hunters and landowners. Mitigate electrocution. Work with power companies to modify power poles, which provide attractive perches to prevent electrocution. Hand rearing and reintroduction. Hand rear second chicks from nests, as they often don't survive otherwise, and release them in historic ranges to boost populations. Population monitoring. Report sightings and support research to track populations and identify threats. Community and education landowner. Custodianship. Engage farmers and private landowners to monitor and protect nests on their property. Awareness campaigns. Educate the public about the hornbill's plight, incorporating local folklore and cultural significance into conservation messages. Support ecotourism. Choose lodges and tours that actively support ground hornbill conservation. Broader actions reduce human-caused mortality, address general threats like habitat loss and encroachment through better land management. Support conservation projects. Donate to organizations like the Mabula Ground Hornbill Project that implement these multifaceted strategies. By combining scientific techniques with community involvement and addressing specific human-caused threats, conservationists aim to reverse the species' decline and ensure its survival. The southern ground hornbill is a keystone species that helps ecosystems by regulating prey, insects, reptiles, small mammals, as a major predator, dispersing seeds as an omnivore, and serving as a vital umbrella species. Its large habitat needs to protect many other savanna species, making it a crucial bioindicator for healthy grasslands and woodlands. Ecological roles, population control. They prey on large insects, snakes, lizards, frogs, and small mammals, helping to keep these populations balanced. Seed dispersal. While mainly carnivorous, they eat some fruits, and the seeds dispersed through their droppings aid in plant regeneration and succession. Bioindicator. Their presence signals a healthy savanna or grassland biome, as they need large, intact territories and abundant food. Umbrella species. Protecting the vast territories needed by ground hornbills also benefits numerous other threatened species, like wild dogs and cheetahs, that share their habitat. Cultural and conservation significance. Thunderbird. Known as rain or thunderbirds, they hold cultural importance, influencing conservation efforts. Charismatic flagship. Their distinctive looks make them a popular species for tourism, driving conservation funding and awareness. In essence, the southern ground hornbill acts as a natural regulator and indicator, with its health reflecting the overall well-being of African savannas. Please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Thank you. Let's continue. Keeping a southern ground hornbill as a pet is strongly discouraged and subject to significant legal restrictions and ethical concerns. Due to their complex social needs, large size, and vulnerable status in the wild, they are not suitable household pets. Legality and ethics, vulnerable status. The southern ground hornbill is a vulnerable species in the wild, largely due to habitat destruction and their slow breeding cycle. Their conservation status often means strict regulations on their trade and possession, permits and licenses. In the UK and US, it is generally illegal to keep wild or endangered native birds without specific permits and licenses, which are typically issued only to zoos, scientific institutions, or experienced, licensed individuals. Welfare needs. These birds have extremely specialized care needs, including massive aviary space, specific diets, and complex social structures. They live in cooperative family groups and require helpers to raise chicks successfully. Replicating these conditions in a private home is nearly impossible. Cost. The initial purchase price of a southern ground hornbill is difficult to determine for the pet trade due to the legal restrictions and specialized nature of their care. Prices for other, less restricted hornbill species in the past have varied widely, e.g., non-native species selling for around $529 in one survey. But this is not indicative of the cost or legality of obtaining a southern ground hornbill. For individuals interested in these birds, it is recommended to support conservation efforts or visit them in licensed zoological parks.